I'd say smash the subscribe button, but that's probably going to make it go off every time I post a short. You don't want that. You only want the long form stuff. So quite frankly, don't do it. I dare you to, or don't, or whatever. Welcome to the Slade Ham Experiment. Hi, surprise, ducking in for the end of the year. I really didn't take any time off at all. I said I was going to take 2 weeks off. I've just been here. Welcome if you're new. Hello, hi, how are you? This is my midnight spaceship. I come to you once a week. I was not even going to do an episode. I was going to relish in the magic of Christmas, sit back and enjoy it. Got to hang out with my nephew, my mom, my brother, some family. It was an enjoyable time. I got friends, people now. They get into that age. They're starting to have a lot of kids. They go, well, we're not doing adult presents this year. We're just doing presents for all the kids. You know what I mean? You're like, what about those of us who don't? We just bring a sack full of kid stuff? And then, oh, you made dip. All right, well, that's fair. That's not what I'm here to. I'm not complaining. Today, I am kind of a little bit. The realization of what society moves in cycles, right? Things happen, they bubble up, they become norms. Then someone protests them, they change, we move on. It's cycles and cycles of this throughout humanity. Tipping, which we'll get to where I fundamentally fall on that scale. Some people are zeros. They believe you don't ever tip. Some people are tens. They tip everything. We'll talk about all of those people. But I spent a large portion of my life as a tipped employee, at least my working life. I was a server for a long time, and I was a bartender for a longer time than that. And we'll talk about how much of a role your tips play in certain jobs. But when I hear people get really, you got to tip for every, well, simmer down. It's not human if you don't. No. In America, or even the Americas, it's a very commonplace to tip. Mexico, you tip a little. Peru, you tip a little. Argentina, you tip a little. Central America, Costa Rica, I think, writes it in. There's tipping in the Americas. There's also tipping, extensive tipping in the Middle East and Africa. It's more of a hustle than a service in exchange for tips. But it's prevalent out there. But in Europe and in Asia, two of the most advanced continents on the planet, if you look at Japan and Korea's technological advances, China, you look at all of Europe, they're not backwoods folk. So what's going on with their lack of tipping? I haven't looked this first part up. I checked the American part of it. But the history of tips, people always tell you it stands TIPS, to ensure prompt service. That's where tips came from. People would write TIPS, to ensure prompt service, on their jars, and they would set them out, and that's where tipping came from. And I don't know for certain that that's not true, but I somehow know for certain that that's not true. It can't be. One, that's not even the right ensure, I don't think. How do I write that one? I think it's ENSURE. This is why I do prep, and I haven't done any prep. Okay, so aside from that being a tell, I think, the concept of giving someone money in advance baffles me. That's like a disincentive to, if someone walked into the bar, and this is not me being selfish, if I was working behind the bar and someone came in and gave me $100 to take care of them that night, right up front, here's $100, take care of me. I'm going to take care of them. but I'm also occasionally going to forget to take care of them. Even though I got this 100 in my pocket, that dude's not going to take that 100 back from me. If that dude comes in and every time I give him great service, he kicks me $100, I'm going to be on that dude all night till I get that $100. And that's human nature. So I don't think that the sliding the money up front was going to be all that helpful. Okay. But where did it end up? I don't care about all of the history of this. How is it that we as Americans have adopted it now in this culture that has changed from just giving? When it was, look, waiters and waitresses, I'm on your side. I tip the shit out of you. But when I go to order a coffee, as I did today, and I put my card in, here's how I order my coffee. Black. Just in a cup, and then I put sugar in it like a human. But I order a black cup of coffee, and the girl charges me, spins the thing around, and it's just staring at you. 15% okay service, 20% good service, 25% exceptional service, 30%. I've never had service like this. And you have the option to click no tip. And I didn't because I thought she was going to make the coffee. But when I click 15% and then you hand me a cup, what have you done? What did you do at all? I mean, is that... I'll ask you sometimes in that situation. If you spend, this is my new rule. If you spend, I've done it once before, and I remember the girl's look on her face. It is worth the price of admission alone. I think from here on out, when you spin that around, I'm just gonna go, what would you tip you for what you just did? And your gut, look at your gut already bubbling up. Why would you make that awkward for them? Why would you put them in such an awkward situation? That's inhuman to make someone be that uncomfortable on purpose. You started it. Just spinning it around. How much am I worth? That's on the spot. That's uncomfortable as shit. So let's be uncomfortable together and let's have an honest, uncomfortable decision about our relationship and how much it is worth. This is from Time Magazine. The origin of tipping in America. At least how it stuck around. After the Constitution was amended in the wake of the Civil War, slavery was ended as an institution, but those who were freed from bondage were still limited in their choices. Many who did not end up sharecropping worked in menial positions such as servants, waiters, barbers, and railroad porters. These were pretty much the only occupations available to them. For restaurant workers and railroad porters, there was a catch. Many employers would not actually pay these workers under the condition that guests would offer a small tip instead. There we go. Despite tipping's growing prominence, many remained unhappy about the custom in the years following Reconstruction. 6 states temporarily abolished the practice in 1915. Go 6 states. In 1918, Georgia's legislature deemed tips as commercial bribes. Ooh, look at you all, progressive Georgia. Or tips for the purpose of influencing service. Okay. They deemed those illegal. Iowa's initial 1915 decision said that those who accepted a gratuity of any kind, not those who gave the money, could be fined or imprisoned. Wow. Even with that pushback, the practice grew in popularity in many southern states, and by 1926, all of these laws had been repealed or deemed unconstitutional by the respective state Supreme Courts. Restaurateurs soon realized they stood to benefit by the opportunity to subsidize a worker's pay with guests' extra money. And it's just never been revisited since. So I know there's some industries, restaurant, bar in particular, where employees are paid the minimum wage of $2.13 an hour. It's not a real wage. It's when you get your check, Because you go, well, they work a 40-hour week, and that's $80 a week, and then that's almost $400 a month. Which one is nothing. Two, that's literally sucked dry by taxes. It's you get checks for 7 cents, for $1.23. They're joke checks. You never spend them. They're just there. You leave them stacked in envelopes in the office. Eventually, you go pick up 37 of them, and you deposit your $28. That's the restaurant industry. So I do understand that. But service industry, you're also going to need to shut the fuck up about tipping in every other place on the planet, because I've dated you. I've been out with you. I've gone and done things with you. And damn it, we don't have to tip everybody. No, you got to tip the coffee person and the donut lady and the cashier at every restaurant. I stopped and bought a candy bar. You're tipping the dude who runs the gas station. What is going on? This is why, that is 100% why, if you know someone in the service industry, they are always broke. Always. I know a handful that bought houses because they make the money. I know bartenders that make more money than you could wrap your head around. Not that you could wrap your head around, but I mean, like, for a bartending job, I know people making $600, $700, $800 a night pouring drinks. But this industry drinks a lot also. This industry tips a lot also. This industry that hinges on tips has now spread that throughout other ecosystems. And we can't do anything about it. I knew that this girl tipped. It didn't matter who it was. If there was an interaction, she would hand them money. And not everything's supposed to be that. I think there has to be, I don't even know what my line in the sand is, but I think there should be some art, may not be the word, some professional technique. Art might be the word. Some flourish, some effort. Is effort the word? I think if you just hand me an empty cup of coffee and I got to turn around and fill it up and it's already lukewarm because you're not making new coffee. This is daytime coffee and I'm drinking it like 3 p.m. If you do that, I don't owe you any more money. Let's go through the list of people. Uber drivers, I'm 50-50. That's probably why I'm a 4.8. Some of you Uber drivers just got rankled. I can't believe you say you didn't. You a tipping Uber driver. You always got a tipping Uber driver. Do I? We'll remove Uber from the equation. I'm entering into a transaction with a stranger about a ride. They've agreed to take me from point A to point B in their own personal vehicle, and I've agreed to climb my own personal self into that vehicle, put all the trust and faith in the world in this person's ability to get me to said destination for the amount of money that I am, as I get into the vehicle, agreeing to give you for the ride. And in that transaction, we both have obligations to make this as pleasant of a trip as possible, right? I err on the side of neutrality. I put my headphones in and leave my sunglasses on and give all of the indicators in the world that I would like this to be a silent night. I would like for us to drift onto this location quietly. You can listen to any music you want to. I even say that when I get in the car. Hey, man, no worries. You can put it on whatever you want to. Make yourself comfortable, brother or sister. That's how I ride. I'm not here to change the way things operate in your vehicle. I'm just here to utilize it from here to here. Now, if we get to there and you've done your job, which was to get me there, and you were extraordinary in reading the room, which was screaming, I don't want to talk to anybody. If you picked up on that and you put it on, you flipped on some Tejano, I'm just listening to what I want to listen to. I would respect even that, because that would kind of be a casual, all right, man, fuck you then. I'm going to do that. But I would respect that. You did your thing. You did exactly what I asked you to do. We got to the next destination. You dropped me off. You gave me a, hey, man, enjoy the rest of your night. Now I'm tipping you. But if I get in this damn Uber on the way to the airport, and I got to go 27 minutes. 27 minutes from my driveway to the airport. Don't try to triangulate where I'm at. Listen, if I got to get in that car and you start chirping off your whole life story, and I got to hear about your daughter's drug problem and the son who's off at college, but he went to jail, and you're just trying to make ends meet, I feel you. But you've made this so insufferable that the helpful dollars I was about to fling your direction, had I not, well, that you would have gotten if you just kept your sob story to yourself. I don't know, man. That's a two-way relationship, Uber. I'll tell you who I shouldn't be tipping for damn sure is a pizza delivery driver. I still tip all these people. That's the problem. This is what makes me so mad. I keep saying I shouldn't be, but I do. We got to break the cycle. But why am I paying the pizza delivery driver? That's not my expense, pizza delivery place. If you hired me to do stand-up comedy and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, that payment only covers the stand-up part of it. You're going to have to tip if you want the comedy. How long would I be a stand-up comedian? No, y'all just pay me to stand here. That's an add-on. I put a bucket out for that. How much? 20% of what you pay me to show? Are you kidding me? Pizza delivery. It's in your job description. The whole business model is based on you paying to deliver pizzas. But it's on me? All right. I feel you. They're not doing anything. They don't drive faster. That would be illegal if I was tipping them to drive faster. It would be, they can't, what are they not doing? What would you do if I tipped you more? What does a $10 tip on a pizza get me that a no dollar tip on a pizza? Pay your employees, pizza dude. With bartenders, I hook it up. But it's like based on the job. I'm not looking at the dollar amount all the time. I always overtip bartender. Always. I probably pay 30% at most bars. But if you looked at it on a transactional basis, sometimes I don't. Like if I were to buy like 10 shots for some friends, I'm gonna go get a round of shots. And that's like $150 or whatever the hell they cost now. I'm not tipping $30 on that. You just went, these aren't mixed shots. They're straight whiskey. All you had to do was tip the bottle. This took you 30 seconds. That's not $25. I'll give you $5. Right? If you're just popping bottle tops on beers, I'll pay you $1 a beer or something. Maybe, it's, again, transactional. Here's $5. That took you 10 seconds. Now, if you squeeze me in front of that bachelorette party, here's the whole, I'll double what I'm paying you. At the bottom of the list, fast food attendants, the counter workers of any sort. If you put it on the screen, I'm just zero. I'm going to ask you, and you can't answer smartass. You can't be, tip me 100%. Zero. I want the truth. I want you to look me in the face and go, and I think the only ones I'm going to tip are the ones who look at me and go, you know what, I'm going to be honest, I really didn't do shit. I wouldn't have tipped me anything there. I'd be like, you know what, $5. You get $5 for honesty, not for this drink you barely made. Bathroom attendants. What are you doing? Who made that job up? Who just invented bathroom attendants? It's not real. The bar or restaurant is not paying them. They're making money for squirting soap on people against their will. Hitting you with that renegade cologne on your way out the door. My friend, what are you doing? Why is a grown-ass man involved in the interaction between me and this hand towel? Why have we brought a third party into soap. This is unnecessary. This is not, is he in there to make sure nobody's doing cocaine? That's a reasonable thing. But why are you touching my hands now? Why are you trying to force feed me a mint, bro? I didn't come in here with cash. It's a bathroom. Well, I take digital now. Do you? Do you? Homeless man with a square? If your job's bathroom attendant, I don't want to sound like I don't like you. I'm sure you're a lovely, wonderful person. I just don't know what you do. You have to sit in a bathroom. There has to be a better job than sitting in a bathroom all night trying to make club dudes. Anyway. Where does it stop? Why am I tipping all these people? Why is it involved in every transaction that's digital? Why are you forcing it on me? Why can we not just find a set of rules that works? I know I sound like I'm bitching, but I don't know where it stops. I hate to sound like I don't know where it stops, guy. Why would I not tip a surgeon before I go into surgery? Why would I not just pay him a little bit extra? You know what I mean? Just to make sure that he goes in and does all the stuff to my heart he's supposed to. So that the next time, in case I have to come back, he's not like, oh, that's the dude who doesn't tip. And then he ends up smoking pot on the back dock and forgets to bring me my salad. Who am I kidding? I'm not eating a salad. But he just forgets and doesn't fix me. Oh, you bled out? Sorry, I was making out with the hostess in the walk-in. I got to tip a lifeguard to watch me better. What if I bump my head and I didn't tip him, and then he comes, oh, man, I forgot my float thing, so I'm going to drag you back the hard way. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Who do we have to tip to live regular lives? I just want things to be normal and peaceful. Who do I have to tip to make that happen? Judges, does that work? Cops? Where? At what point does this become bribery? I think my only rule, because I do try to be kind to frontline employees. It's a tough job. I've done it. I don't like anyone. This ex of mine, I remember so distinctly. We were in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I was playing Boomtown Casino. Shit flown down. Anyway, doesn't matter. We were sitting at this restaurant, seafood, Louisiana. And she bitched at this waiter's, like snapped. Not bitched, it's the wrong word. Snapped. It was really disrespectful. And it set off all kind of alarm bells that I didn't really listen to for a year and a half. Anyway, totally beside the point. The point is, you gotta treat service staff well. What they did during the pandemic, we did them dirty. We just shoved waiters and waitresses and grocery store employees. We just shoved them out like Cloverfield and just shut that door, looking at them through a peephole. Yeah, if y'all don't die, we'll come eat. So you gotta treat them well. But we ain't gotta tip everything. Not everybody, not everywhere. You gotta put some art into it. If I get a drink, I want you to try. You want a big tip from me, make this drink something I want to drink. Put some care into it. Put some heart, put some you. And then I'll put some me in your tip jar. Only time I've really been rude in memorable history to a frontline employee like that. And it was a bit during the pandemic. I'd be perfectly honest. I was probably frayed a bit at the ends. And I'd gone to, there's a coffee shop by my place. Not by my place, but up the street from my place. It has these big picture windows that look out over a homeless camp. And all the people that go in this place, it's all, exposed pipes and brick and, the aesthetic. It's full of all of these entrepreneurs in there working on their business plans, and they sit in front of these big plate glass windows and they type up proposals for dumb businesses like biracial bagels or like we're gonna make airbags for birds who get heat stroke and fall out of the sky, and these will protect, and then they got a pitch deck and everything. And it's the irony of them sitting by that window looking out over that homeless camp that they're probably going to end up in if they ever go to market with this idea. But that's the kind of place this is. And people come in and they work on their dumb ideas. And college kids work on their dumb papers. And I go in and I write my dumb jokes. And people do dumb things and we sit there and it's communal. There's coffee. And I was at my wit's end, been stuck at home, living by myself. I'm an introvert, but I needed humans. So I went to this coffee shop and I made the mistake of going on a Saturday. And they were trying to do, I didn't know this, found this out the hard way. Because I went in and I sat down and I opened up my laptop and I had my coffee. I'm sitting there drinking. I'm barely getting into it, man. Like my second sip, I start to peck away at the keyboard. I get a tap on the shoulder and I pull my earbuds out. It's this dude who had just served me the coffee. And he goes, "You can't have your laptop open in here." And I was like, you're joking, right? It's a coffee shop. And he goes, "No, you're here during brunch, and we don't allow electronic devices on the Wi-Fi or even to be open during brunch." And I went, wow, like that's just a bunch of W sounds. And then I was like, okay. And then I closed it, and because I was like mad at the dude, but I was be bigger, just leave. That's cool. You didn't need to be around people. That's just go be sad at home, Slade. And I came home and I thought about it and I was like, man, you got to call and get you, because I left my coffee sitting on the table. I go, you got to call and get your money back for this coffee, bro. Stupid as it sounds, you got to do this or you're not, you're neurotic right now. This is going to bug you. So I called it. I said, "Hey," "can I speak to the manager?" And the guy goes, "Well, I'm the manager." And I recognized his voice instantly. He goes, "This is Danny." And you could just tell by the way he said it. You know what I mean? "Oh, that's Danny." I go, "Danny, I was just in there and listen, man, I bought a coffee. I bought it from you. Remember? I go and I went and I sat down and I started working on this thing I'm working on, and you told me I couldn't do that, and then I left the coffee on the table. Yeah, we have a no laptop policy during brunch, and I thought I made that very clear to you." I was, "Why you don't over-explain?" I go, "But I would like the money back for the coffee that I left there. You can keep the tip, but can you just kick me back?" I know this is so petty. "Can you just kick me back the $3, Danny?" And he goes, "No." And I thought about it for a minute. I was like, man, because what I ultimately decided to do, I wrote them this big, long-ass thing on Facebook, which was stupid. That's part of why I got off Facebook, because it's a frustrating place to take out your frustrations. And I said, here's what I said, "Danny," I went in there today because I was a little cuckoo, buddy. I go, and I just needed some human contact. I go, and you basically kicked me in the face. I go, so I'm not saying I'm going to Kurt Cobain myself all over the living room, Danny. I'm not saying I'm going to go leap from the tower downtown. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying, but if I do, Danny, first place I'm coming to haunt is your dumb coffee shop. I'm coming right there, and I'm just going to haunt. I'm going to open up laptops everywhere. Even if they're turned off, I'm going to turn them on. Reverse ghost stuff. And every time someone orders something dumb and brunchy, Danny, I'm just going to jump out and scare them. Can I get some granola? Boom, motherfucker. And then it's just going to be tapioca balls all over the floor, and you're going to have to clean it up, Danny, because I'm only haunting your shift. That's what I'm doing. So I think he still kept the tip. The point is, tip when it feels good and don't when you don't. And ignore everything I tell you, because most of it's bullshit. Happy New Year to all of you. I'll see you out in the world. I got a busy year coming up. You got to be there for all of it.